There are pains we gotta follow, there are pains we cannot run when we're looking down the barrel of a gun. It is not about surviving, either living or you're dying. Stand your ground and never ever be afraid, 'cause we are one. 'Cause we are one. So break your teeth, take your ground, make some noise and get around, 'cause we are one. Yeah, we are one. We stand united. Whoa, united. Together rise and fall, 'cause it's all for one, one for all. Yeah, it's all for one. And we will stand our ground.
Welcome to the DreamHack Showdown Summer 2020. It's finally here. I feel like I've been waiting for this moment for well over a year. And I have to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, Monster and Monster Studios, which is actually the big brains of the DreamHack Showdown operation right now. Thank you for being our sponsors and helping this event to happen. My name is Frankie Ward, and sadly, I'm not in Sweden. I'm confined to my personal CS practice room, which I need to spend a lot more time in because I'm absolutely terrible, and I'm going to see everything that I should be doing over the next few days as we see the best women in the game take to the server. And I'm not going to be on my own because I've got two marvelous women with me. They are Sapphire and Potter, and they got up at an ungodly hour on the other side of the Atlantic. I mean, Potter, you've been ridiculously in demand since lockdown began. How's it going?
It's going good. I needed to address Frankie. I think if you've dedicated an entire room and you're calling it your CS practice room in your house, you're on the right track. You're right there on the path to becoming a professional gamer, professional CS player.
Oh,
but
you.
yeah, I mean, I've been really busy this year, luckily for me, and been watching a lot of Counter-Strike. I haven't unfortunately been able to catch up too much with female CS because it hasn't been here. Where have the tournaments been? There's no Intel Challenge this year. WSG gone. Copenhagen Games canceled. So definitely right now the landscape of female Counter-Strike, the competition, I have no idea who the top three teams are. On paper, it should certainly be Besiktas or Origin M, whatever their new name is. But yeah, I think this weekend is going to be really exciting to see exactly where the top echelon of female Counter-Strike lands.
Well, we're going to have a guest coming up very soon who's going to be able to tell us how to pronounce Team Origin M. So that's a little bit of a teaser for a bit. But right now, we've got to welcome Sapphire to the desk. So many people on social media are ecstatic to see you taking your rightful place in between me and Potter. Sapphire, is this the first time you've been on an analyst desk in a long time, or in fact ever?
It's been a long time. I did one Intel Challenge. I think that was back in 2016 or so. Usually I'm on the other side of the camera doing the observing, hitting the 1s through 0s. And, I watch a lot of Counter-Strike. I guess it's about time I talk about it.
Absolutely. I'm really, really happy to have you here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the second ever DreamHack Showdown, because you might recall last year, 2019, the, I guess, brand, you might call it, made its debut at DreamHack Valencia, where NRE squad CLG Red were put to the post by Besiktas. And Potter, you were there. Remind us of what went down.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned at Showdown even last year, Besiktas, when we look at the players on this lineup, you think God tier, you think the best of the best in female, but they were kind of lacking going into Showdown. They were not the favorites going into that tournament, which is surprising to say when you have Zaz, when you have Giuliano on a lineup, but they should surprised us. Honestly, when I was going into Showdown, I completely expected CLG Red to win, potentially Galaxy Racer to win. But Besiktas, I mean, I tweeted it out right after that event that Zaz, she's back. Giuliano, she's back. They seem to look really dominant. Even in that grand finals versus CLG Red, the score lines were like 16-9, 16-8. So it was very dominant coming out of Besiktas. And I really appreciated that to see them back at the top and being so dominant at it as well.
And both of you have played your fair share of big LAN events in your time. Do you think, Sapphire, that LAN experience makes the team take it up a notch?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, once you're playing on LAN, the pressure's higher, the stakes are higher. You're going to put in more effort, and it's going to mean something, really. That victory means a lot. So having that experience and then coming back on online and playing kind of in your comfort space, you're still going to have a bit of an edge there.
I had a look at last year's event. I sort of watched some of it from a bathroom in Portugal. And I wanted to kind of look at where we are this year, because actually there's a lot of new names we're going to see. But there are also our reigning champions returning under a different name. Of course, we split between Europe and NA this year. So this is my breakdown of Valencia and where the teams are now. Besiktas are now Originem with Mimi forming with Copenhagen Flames, while Mimi's former Flame teammates, including Vilga, now playing under Galaxy Racer Esports alongside Kilivi and Claudia, who played in Forever 21 at the last Showdown, but used to play in Assassins pre and post Copenhagen Hames era. CLG Red and Dignitas, however, two of the strongest teams in the women's scene, are going to be playing next weekend. And of course, Sapphire, you have your links to Dignitas. Of course, Potter, CLG Red, Potter, like the two go hand in hand. So I'm kind of excited about this split, because it means we get 2 weekends of women's CS and we get to see more names take to this stage.
For sure. And that was impressive, Frankie, for you to talk out all the history of Claudia. When I think about Claudia, man, she was even in CLG Red back in the day, like in 2014, 2013. So she's definitely been around the block. And I mean, I think that bodes well for her. I mean, she's got that experience as well. And we've got Petra. I think I interrupted you there, Frankie. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hi, Petra.
Hi, Petra.
It's very exciting to have you out. DreamHack Showdown Valencia MVP joining us for a chat. And first of all, what did that first Showdown event mean for the women's scene, Petra?
Well, it was one of the biggest events for sure, and it was so amazing to win this tournament, because it was for us a really important tournament, also for the other teams. So yeah, it was pretty amazing.
And you didn't just win $50,000 from a $100,000 prize pool. You also won a spot at the DreamHack Open in Rotterdam, your home nation, the Netherlands. Rotterdam itself it feels like a small country. It's a fabulous place, but it is part of the Netherlands. What did the team take away from that experience?
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. For me, at least, it was pretty cool because it was in the Netherlands. My family could visit and stuff. And yeah, it was also nice to compete against really good male teams. Of course, yeah, we didn't go as good as planned, but it was a really nice experience.
Sapphire, have you got your first question from the desk?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously going into this, Origin M, Galaxy Racer are some of the favorites, but you know, you're a legend in Europe. Like, who's one of the teams you're most excited to face in this event, and who do you think is gonna, make a splash?
Obviously, Galaxy Racer is a really good team, but I heard this Polish girl lineup is also been playing pretty good, so I don't really know what to expect from them, which makes it a little bit more like exciting and really unpredictable. But I think they can do a really good job in this tournament.
Potter, I see you nodding away.
Sorry, Petra, I needed to ask you, when I think about back on your history in 2019, we look at Showdown. It was impressive. You guys dominated, then won. Then when you went on to Rotterdam, you had some roster issues, fifth issues, and the lack of preparation. It was absolutely showing. We even heard Giuliano mentioning it in her interview. Now the band is back together. Mimi's back. It seems like you guys have a stable roster. How has the preparation been in 2020? Because girl, it is so impossible to find information on your team. You guys aren't competing in any leagues. You guys hardly play in any tournaments. There hasn't been many female tournaments to begin with. What is your preparation? What's it looking like?
Yeah, we've been playing the ECA Intermediate League, and we made some mistakes there, and we have been trying to work on these mistakes to prepare for this tournament. And it's been actually going pretty well. Since Mimi's on the roster, the team feels also more stable. But I think our biggest failure is like this little small tweaks you need to have, like some basic stuff. We've been working on this, and it feels pretty good right now. So I think we can show this in this tournament.
And I want to ask as well, Petra, do you think that Showdown is the start of a new series of tournaments in women's CS, or do you think that actually the scene needs to do more to develop?
But this is a really good addition to the female team, of course, because it's a really big tournament and everyone is so excited to play this tournament since it's also really well organized. And yeah, it would be great to have even more events and tournaments because it's lacking a bit on the female scene.
And you recently beat Galaxy Racer Esports in the finals of the Ambush Invitational. Of course, you and Vilga's team, you're the top 2 seeds here in the European edition of the DreamHack Summer Showdown. Do you think you're going to be facing them in the finals again?
Well, most likely, but you never know how the other teams are going to compete and what the nerves is going to do with the people. So yeah, it might be. It's a good chance.
And before I let you go, Petra, we're about to open up our topic of the day, and it's all about bad habits during quarantine. Have you developed any?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Have you developed any bad habits during quarantine, Petra?
Oh, no, for me, it didn't really change anything because I've been inside before
True
quarantine
gamer.
as well. True gamer. But yeah, maybe I played a bit too many pugs or something on Face It. Could bring these habits to the team.
You can never play too much CS, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Petra. Good luck with
Thank
your match.
you.
We'll be seeing you play Deathbox or those Polish ladies, Arcane Wave, that you mentioned earlier, later today.
Yeah.
I think we actually chatted for so long that we've actually got no time to share our bad habits, and that's okay because turns out we've not got any. We're going to head to a short break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about our opening matchup between Arcane Wave and Deathbox.